Okay, so our today's session is about while and for loop. Open your LabVIEW, come to the place where you had created a folder, like I had created a folder on my mm, system. So now this one is day 8. Open your LabVIEW. When you will open your LabVIEW, you will get this window. Now it is our getting started window of our LabVIEW. Using this getting started window, we can enter into the LabVIEW. Yesterday I explained how can we create a folder. Today, because we don't have much time and loops will take more time, so I'm not going to create a project. But yeah, uh, forwards will create various project. Now come and create a new vi. Create a new vi. Press Ctrl T and Ctrl N. Ctrl T and Ctrl N. When you will right click on the block diagram, you will get a whenever you will right click on the block diagram, you will get a function palette. In the function palette, under the programming, you will get a structure. When you will come into the structure, you will get two different loops are there. One is the for loop and one is the while loop. Now take the for loop and place here. Right click, come here and take a while loop and place here. Press Ctrl H. When you will touch for loop, so you will get to know some information. For loop will execute n number of time. The I iteration terminal will provide you the loop count and the range will be always 0 to n minus 1. If your loop will run, for loop will run 10 times. So I will give you the loop count from 0 to 9. Second, while loop. A while loop will run continuously. It will repeats the code until the subdiagram will not get a specific command. It will wait for the specific command. When the system will receive the particular command, then it will stop the execution. Then the system will stop the while loop, or the system will stop. System will stop the execution of the while loop. It is now in the for loop. Right click, create label. Right click, create a label. Now in the for loop, you can right click and create control. Either hmm. Now for loop, right click, create control, create constant. You can create constant for the for loop. And now you can create indicator for this while loop. You can also create an indicator for this while loop. It's a for loop. Let's okay, it is a for loop. For loop is a finite loop and while loop is a continuous loop. It will only stop when you will. It will okay. Whenever you will press the stop button, at that time while loop will stop. Now here I am going to delete the while loop and let's work on the for loop only. So now here I am going to the value 10. So this loop will execute 10 times. This loop will run 10 times and this I will generate the count value 0 to 10. Look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This loop will run 10 times and each and every time will get 1. Each and every time this loop will run 10 times. I will generate value from 0 to 9. Suppose inside the loop, if I will put a random number generator value, and after that if I will create an indicator for the particular value random number generator, so it will generate 10 random number. it will generate 10 random numbers. Now you can see here we are using only. Now you can see here our loop, whenever I am pressing the run button, so loop is running continuously. Loop is iterating the with my given time. Here n is equal to 10 I had given, so loop are executing. The system is running 10 times, right? System are running 10 times, and every time it's generating one value, 0 to, sorry, it's generating value. That means it's repeating the code n number of time. And but why we are not able to see all the data? Because the because there is only one indicators available inside the while loop. Due to this one indicator availability, we cannot we cannot store all the data. That's why it's overwriting each and every time. Clear? Suppose if you will change the loop time 4, so it will run 4 times, because the indicator, only one indicator present, so at one indicator can display one value at the same time. That's why it's every time it's overwriting. So how can we display uh, or store all the elements of this while loop? Suppose we are running this while loop for the fourth time, and we want to see all the data. We want to see each and every data for our while loop, sorry, for our from our for loop. So for that, you have to click here this line, and you have to click on the border. It is a universal rule of the for and while loop. Okay, if you will place an indicator inside the loop, so the particular indicator will override n number of time till the loop will execute. The indicator will override, and it will display you. It will show you only current value. Okay. Now, when you will try to create, okay, if you want to display more than one value, then make a connection like this. When you will touch into the border, so it will create an auto index tunnel. After that, you can create a indicator. Now you will get a array, one dimension array. Why you are getting this one dimension array? The reason is because array is a default output of a for loop. If for loop will run 10 times, so it will repeat the code 10 times, and every time whatever the data it will generate, we can only display each and every data using the array. Why? Because the array has the uh, pro, uh, this property to store the multiple data. During the runtime, you will not get any data on the array. When the loop will stop, then it will pass all the data outside from the loop. It is a universal rules. During the runtime, loop cannot transfer any data outside from inside, or loop cannot take any data, okay, from outside to inside, because this loop is present outside. This array is present outside. So now, if I will run 10, if I will run here, if I will, sorry, just a second. Look at here. If I will run this program, now loop will run 10 times. So 10 times this numeric indicator will display the value. This indicator will not display any value. When the loop will stop, when loop will complete the 10th iteration, then the array will generate the value. Same, you can create one more array for this function. Okay. Also here, we will get one more array. This array will represent the loop iteration count. This loop iteration count will always equal to the This loop iteration count will always equal to the okay indexing number. Is zeroth index, first index, second index, and 9. But if I will try to count the size of the loop, size of the array, so always it will be the nearby the it will be equal to n. Suppose if I will take build array, so definitely we can easily create the build array function. We can create a build array like this, and it will create a 2D array. This 2D array, now you can see here, it's creating a 2D array. Now you can see here, it's creating a 2D array. It's creating a two-dimension array. But you can see here, what function I had used? I had used only a build array. When you will use two one-dimension array, so it will create one two-dimension array using two one-dimension array. Okay. Now you can come into the array and you can use this transpose 2D array function, transpose 2D array function, and you can use this transpose 2D array function. You can open the label. You can connect the transpose 2D array function here. You can create the indicator. Now this indicator will be give you a satisfactory outcome which you want to see. Now you can see here we are getting in okay. In this way we can display our both index value and our data or our loop count or the data. Inside the day 8, I'm going to save this data for loop. Now I'm going to create a new VI. In this new VI, again I am taking a for loop. If you will not give any input to this for loop, if you will not give any input to this for loop, so this loop will not execute. It will give you the error. Now you can see here, it is giving us the error. What is the error? N terminal is not wired. If you will give the value 0, so loop, okay, so this loop will execute 0th time. That's why inside the, okay, now the program is executable, but the system will not execute. Why? Because it's getting the 0 iteration. So loop will iterate 0. Same here. Suppose you want to run this loop for the 10th time and you are expecting I need only the last value. I want to run this loop 10 times and I need only last value. If you are thinking, if you want, okay, I want to run this loop 10 times, but I need the last value. After 10 times, what value will come? I want to check. So for that, you can do, you can right click, you can come into the, you have to right click on this tunnel. We call it tunnel. In normal language, we call it tunnel, and it is auto index tunnel. For loop create auto index tunnel by default. Due to this auto index tunnel, for loop create a array and we can display all our data. Now you can see here the loop will run. If the loop will run 10 times, each and every time, if this loop will run 10 times, each and every time whatever the data this loop okay code will generate, okay, this indicator will display all the data. But this one, this auto indexing tunnel will hold or will store all the data. Now sub as I mentioned, if you are looking for the last value, okay, last value, so for that you have to right click on this tunnel and come into the tunnel mode, and the click you have to click the last value. That means it will give you the only last value. when the program will okay, when the program will complete the execution. At that time, whatever the value will present, it will okay, you will get that value. Now run the program. Now you can see both array and this indicator are not updating. When the loop will stop, then both will update only once. Now you can see here, loop will run, okay, 6 times, and when the program will stop, the output will update only once. Suppose you want to store the data. Now, suppose you want to store the only uh, the data when they are generating in the positive and the positive, sorry, in the even iteration. Suppose you had targeted, I want the data which are coming on the okay, which are coming on the like not a positive, which are coming on that okay, just a second. I'm forgetting the terms. Can you suggest me that word what we said? If the number is okay, even even in the even iteration. Okay, show me the data only if the data are coming on the even iteration. So for that you have to come here and you have to write a small logic like this, and you have to count, create constant 2. Now okay, constant and reminder function. Suppose you want to okay sum even function, right? Whenever now our question is I only require the data, I require the data from the even iteration only. So for that here I am writing a program. If my reminder is equal to 0, then particular number will be the even number. So now here you can see here we had I am creating that particular auto index tunnel. By default, you know it will create an auto index tunnel. When you will click on the tunnel, so you will get conditional. So what is the condition here? If my loop okay, I need the data only for the even iteration. Now create indicator. So it will give you the data only for the even iteration. I'm going to run the program. Okay. And we can verify the data from this. Okay. 10 times. Run the programs. Now you can see there these data are available only in the even iteration. So in this way you can break down 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. Okay, so this is the for loop tunnel. Yeah, you can say the tunnel create a buffer. Definitely you can say tunnel create a buffer. Without buffer, system cannot store a single bit. Now please come into the new VI. Right click, take a for loop, create control, sorry, create constant. This loop will run 4 times only. This loop will run 4 times only, and it will generate value from 0 to 3, right? It will generate value from 0 to 3. Now let's take one more for loop and place here like this, and give the create constant value 3. Pass this data outside. Now you can see here it's creating a 2-dimensional array. Now I want to ask you what will be the size of this array if I will run. So I must can say the size of array will be 3 cross 4. Size of array will be 3 cross 4. The minimum indexing will be the 0. The maximum indexing will be the 2 cross 3. But the size will be the 3 cross 4. When, okay, my question is how many times the internal loop will run. So the answer is the internal loop will run completely internal loop will run 12 times. When it will execute first, this loop will run when the system will execute first, this loop will run, sorry, when this one will execute, at that time this loop will run 3 times. When it will execute second, it will run 4 times. Then again when it will execute, it will run 4 times. 4 4 4. This particular loop will run completely 12 times, and we will get 12 data. But this loop, the outer loop, will run only 3 times. Now let's try to write, okay, let's try to write a small program to confirm this logic. Right click, come here, take a for loop, right click, create constant, put the value 10. Right click, come here, take a numeric control. Now this numeric control I am putting outside of the loop. During the runtime, if your loop is running, so during the runtime, loop will not take any single data inside from outside. And during the runtime, loop cannot pass any single data outside from inside. I am trying to create a table for this number. How can I create a table? I know this system will generate value from 0 to n minus 1. And I want to create a table for the particular number. Now, if I will put here any value 2, so it will create a table for 2. But here I am getting 0 to 18, not 2 to 10. Why? Because it's generating value 0 to 10, 0 to 9. So in place of that, I can use the numeric functions increment, and we can solve the problem. Now this system will generate number from 0 to 10, and easily we can achieve our target to create a table for 0 to, okay, 2 to 10. Now here I am taking one more program loop. Take one more loop. Let's make a connection like this. Both loops should run 10 times. Inner loop will run 20 times or an outer loop will run 10 times only. Let's take an increment function here. From where you can take an increment function, come to the numeric, take an increment functions and place here and make a connection like this. Again, now come here, take a multiply function, place here, just a second, right click, come here, take an increment function, place here, create. In this way, you can create a table for 0 to 10. But this practice will not solve any purpose. This kind of programming will not solve any purpose. Suppose if your son or your child will come and they will ask, Father, can you write a program which can generate a table from my in between my given range. Suppose my given range is 3 to 14. So can you write a program which can generate a table from 0 to 3 to 14 or 6 to 14 or 6 to 12, any number? Means you have to write a program where your system can generate a table from your okay, a system can generate table for your given number. For loop you now suppose I have one start number. I have suppose one end number. Then I need to find the range of this number. Suppose my start number is 4 and end number is 14. Okay. Now I have these things and I have this function. Inner loop will run 10 times. That's clear. We need one increment function which will convert our value from 0 to 10. But how many times the outer loop will run? Why? Because this outer loop will be our number produce. Okay, number producer. So how can I find a range? So we need to find a range. For that you have to subtract the end value minus start value, and you need increment function. End value minus start value plus 1. So this will create a range of the two, okay, of these two number. Now your start number is here. Let's enter this start number. Now try to break down the logic based on your programming knowledge. Why I am adding the start number with the I. Because I know this loop will run 11 times. This loop will run 11 times. So each and every time it will generate one value. It will generate value 0 to 10, 0 to 10, and 4 plus 0, 4, 4 plus 10, 14. Using this, we can generate the number, and this system will help us to multiply or to create the table between the range. The system will help us to create the table between the particular range. Now you can see here, this loop will run 10 times. And how many times final run? It will run the range of the number multiplied by 10. Now this loop is running nearly 110 times. Why? Because the range is 11 here. But you can see here we are not getting a correct table. So we need one more function here. And the function name is right click, come here, take a transpose to the array functions. Using this function, you can able to display your array on a correct manner. Just a second, sir. Just a second, sir. Yes, sir. What is your question?
Sir, why the column is incrementing by 4? Because 4 is the start number. Both
Yeah.
row and column should be 4, 5, 6 up to 14, no?
So loop should start because our target is to create a table from the in for the 4 to 14.
And vertically, if you see the column, it is incrementing by 4 every time,
This one,
no?
it is table of 4,
Okay, okay, okay. Got it.
table of 5.
Yeah, okay, okay, got it.
Hmm. Now come here, right? When we start on the sorry, I explained many times. If your loop will run n number of time, so it will create a array for the n element, right? It will create an array for n element. Just because of this auto index tunnel will create a buffer here, and the buffer will store the data, and when the loop will complete the execution, the system will pass all the data to the indicator. Till the loop will not complete the execution, the system will wait, then till the time this buffer will store the data, and after completing the execution, it will pass the data only. Is clear? To us. Suppose you have one array. Suppose I have one numeric and I have one numeric array. One, 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 three, four, four, five, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Now I have one array, and if I will connect this array from left side of the loop, Now in this example, we are in this example our program is generating a array because okay, our program is generating an array, and whatever the data this code will produce, whatever the data this code will produce, okay, create control, whatever data this code will produce, which code, this code, it's my code, okay, whatever the data this code will produce, just a second, we can read all the data here. But in this case, if my array is present outside, left side, and when you will try to connect this array, so it will create again auto index tunnel. So for the better way, you can say auto de-indexing. Due to this auto indexing, it's the system hold all the data and it's create an array. Using this auto de-indexing, the system hold all the data and it will give you only the singular value, the element value. Now look at here. Right now, my this system is not running because error is here. If you will connect this one, so automatically the system will accept your array size is equal to n. Now the system is automatically accepting array size is equal to n and program is ready to run, ready to execute. Now here I am going to run the program, so you will see it will display you 1, 3, 4, 44, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, again, now you can see here it's generating the individual value, it's generating the individual number. Mhm. So we can call it auto de-indexing or auto indexing, whatever. So suppose if you will connect any any array left side from the for loop, so it will de-index, okay, de-index, sorry, it that will disable the indexing. Now if I will take create constant, suppose my index value is 20, my index value is 20 for the loop, so how many times the loop will run? In that case, loop will run only 10 times, sorry, 9 times. In that case, loop will only 9 times. Why? Because the array has 9 elements. The array has 9 elements, so it will run only 9 times. Suppose if this index value is 5, then how many times the loop will run? Any guesses? Then still the loop will run 5 times only. Then loop will run 5 times. Always it will take, always it will take the lowest index value. If you will not give any, so if you will not provide or if you will not give any uh, initialize, if you will not initialize n, if you will not initialize n, so it will take this array size as a, okay, iteration value. But if you will initialize this one and you will give the value, so then it will compare which index value or which sorry, n value is smaller. So always it will take the lowest value. Now if you will say I need my entire data inside the loop, so for that you have to click here and you have to connect. Then you have to right click and you have to disable the indexing. Using this disable indexing practice, you can now you can read your entire array 5 times. Now you can entire array 5 times. Look at here. Let's try to take this data outside. Here I am taking this data outside, and also I'm taking this data outside, right? You know very well, if I will take a build array function, then it will create one 2D array and will get the data differently. Suppose here, in place of appendant array, if I will right click and convert into the concatenate, so we'll get one dimension array. First we are getting this data, then we are getting this data, just because of the appendant behavior. And concatenate behavior. Right click, save as, loop indexing. Now let's try to take a use case again. Right click here, come here, take a string. In this string, here I am going to write my name, Nitesh Nitesh, Pradhan, Pradhan, Nitesh Pradhan. How many elements are available, or how many characters available? I think 14 characters are available in this Nitesh Pradhan. 6 characters in Nitesh, 1 space, and 7 characters are present in Pradhan. So I think I have the collection of, I have the 14 characters on my name, right? There is one function in string, the additional, not here, path string array. When you will right click and come in string, last column, path array string, there is one function, string to byte array. If you will take this string to byte array function, so it will convert your string, into a byte array, which will show you, uh, give, which will give you the binary data of your name. Now you can see here, it is giving me the binary data of my name. What is the binary number for n? Capital N is equal to, let's check it, if it is correct or not. A, B, C, D. Okay, so N, capital N I T E S H Nitesh space Pradhan Pradhan. So it's 14. Now if I will connect this loop, now if I will connect this array into this loop, so how many times this loop will run? What will be the last value for this I indicator? The last value for this I indicator will be 13. This loop will run 10 times. Now, here I am going to introduce one very beautiful and very beautiful program in Boolean. In the Boolean, there is one function. What is the name of this function? Number to Boolean array. This function has capability. This function has capability to convert your number into a Boolean array. Yeah, binary. Right, binary. It has this number, this okay function has capability to convert your number into a binary. 13. Okay. So if you want, so you can do your practice for MSB to LSB. MSB. Here I am going to convert it into the representation U8, smallest one. So we have 8 bit. Okay. Then it is showing you, okay, 1101. Now this 1101 is the value for 13. Again, now there is wonderful function which we know earlier. We had used boolean to 0 1, and this and it can convert your number to 1 and 0. Let's see. For each true it will be convert 1, and for each false it will convert 0. Clear? It's working. Suppose here number is 128, 127. If your number is minus 127, sorry, 127. If this number is 255, that means, okay, it can convert. Now, for much and more information, you can use, there is a one beautiful functions which you can use here, and the function is commutative array reverse one dimension array, which I don't want to use reverse one dimension array. A reverse one dimension array. Now it will give you the data as you understand. Now it will give you the data as you understand. 13 1100. Sorry, 1101. Clear? So why I use these functions here? That is the second question. Let's come here. Let's try to convert your this number into the Boolean. Let's try to convert your each and every number into the Boolean. Later you will know the beauty. Now using this function, I can easily convert my each and every number into the Boolean array. After that, by placing this number, I can convert that each and every true and false into 1 and 0. Then I can use this reverse 1D array functions, and I can change MSB to LSB. Clear? Now it will create a two dimension array for me. So now here I am representing the binary breakdown or the digital breakdown of my name. It is a digital breakdown of my name. Still here I have one problem, and the particular problem is this one is the my first name, Nitesh. This one is the, sorry, N. The first one is N, second one is small I, then small t, then small e, then small s, then 0 and others. Right? Again, I'm creating for you. Look at here. Again, I'm creating same thing. If you are easily able to understand what I am trying to do here, so here I am trying to convert my name or anything, any statement. Just a second. Allow me for. Okay, come here. There is one beautiful functions are still remains. Beautiful, a terminal configuration is still remains, and the terminal configuration name is concatenating. Concatenate. Now using this concatenate, you can create a one dimension array. Now it will create a one dimension array for your all one dimension array. Let's try to discuss this behavior. First, this will come here, the capital N will come. It will come, sorry, first the value of capital N 78 will come here. It will break down it into the boolean. It will convert into the 1 and 0. It will be reversed. Then one dimension array will here. Now here this auto indexing is storing one dimension array right now. In earlier example, the auto indexing array was storing only the single elements. Now it's storing the one dimension array. It will store 14 one dimension array. Then after it's creating a two dimension array. How many what will be size? 14 cross 8. Why 14 cross 8? Why? Because our array is coming with the U8 bit. So it's creating the 8-bit Boolean data here. 8-bit array. It's creating the 8-bit array. Look at here. After 8, you will not get any data because input is 8-bit Boolean data. Now you will get your all entire name in a one dimension array. But I don't, okay, want now I need more information. I want to plot it into the graph and I want to see how it will be, how it will look like my name when I will put it on the graph. So how my name will be look like. So I'm pressing here and let's try to see. I can see my name like this. Suppose here I'm going to do X scale, Y scale, auto scale, property close, -2 and 2. Hmm. So it is a way using this program you can easily break your you can easily break down your any string and you can convert it into the graph chart or you can convert it into the 2D array or binary format. Can I export it? Yes, I can export also. Suppose in this place here I am going to use the normal display setup. In place of waveform graph, if I will use this 2D array, then I will get this kind of data. Then white is saying white, the white is the capital N. Then small and I, so small I, then T, so small t. Now, in place of this, if I will take one beautiful functions, chart, if I will take a real-time chart, let's take a chart here. Let's take a small chart. Right click, auto scale, Y scale, auto scale close. If I will put it my -1 to 2, if okay, now I'm going to strike it. Put right click, stack plot. Let's try to. Now you can see here, I am getting the 16 data, 10. Here I am getting the 16 data. I'm getting all the 14 data here I am getting. String to array. String to array. Only one concept has remained now. That is shift register. Shift register. Tomorrow I will cover the shift register concepts. Okay, sir. So thank you for joining me. Go and enjoy your Punjab and Chennai's match.